to a place called Gethsemane.
Sit here while I pray.
He took Peter, James, and John along with him, and he began to be deeply distressed and troubled.
My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch.
Going a little farther, he fell to the ground and prayed that if possible, the hour might pass from him.
Abba, Father, everything is possible for you. Take this cup from me, yet not what I will, but what you will.
Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping.
Simon, are you asleep? Could you not keep watch for 1 hour? Watch and pray, so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the body is weak.
Once more he went away and prayed the same thing. When he came back, he again found them sleeping, because their eyes were heavy. They did not know what to say to him. Returning the third time, he said to them,
Are you still sleeping and resting? Enough. The hour has come. Look, the Son of Man is betrayed into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer.
just as he was speaking, Judas, one of the 12, appeared. With him was a crowd armed with swords and clubs, sent from the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them.
The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him and lead him away under guard.
Going at once to Jesus, Judas said,
Rabbi!
and kissed him. The men seized Jesus and arrested him. Then one of those standing near drew his sword and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ears.
Am I leading a rebellion that you have come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I was with you, teaching in the temple courts, and you did not arrest me. But the scriptures must be fulfilled.
Then everyone deserted him and fled. A young man, wearing nothing but a linen garment, was following Jesus. When they seized him, he fled naked, leaving his garment behind. They took Jesus to the high priest, and to all the chief priests, elders, and teachers of the law came together. Peter followed him at a distance, right into the courtyard of the high priest. There he sat with the guards and warmed himself at the fire. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for evidence against Jesus so they could put him to death, but they did not find any. Many testified falsely against him, but their statements did not agree. And then some stood up and gave his false testimony against him.
We heard him say, I will destroy this man-made temple, and in 3 days will build another, not made by man.
Yet even then their testimony did not agree. Then the high priest stood up before them.
Are you not going to answer? What is this testimony that these men are bringing against you?
But Jesus remained silent and gave no answer.
You are the Christ, the Son of the blessed God?
I am. And you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven.
The high priest tore his clothes.
Why do we need any more witnesses? You have heard the blasphemy. What do you think?
They all condemned him as worthy of death. Then some began to spit at him. They blindfolded him, struck him with their fists, and said, "Prophesy." And the guards took him and beat him. While Peter was below in the courtyard, one of the servant girls of the high priest came by. When she saw Peter warming himself, she looked closely at him.
You also were with the Nazarene, Jesus. I don't know or understand what you're talking about.
He went out into the entryway. When the servant girl saw him there, she said again to those standing around,
This fellow is one of them.
Again, he denied it. After a little while, those standing near said to Peter,
Surely you are one of them, for you are a Galilean.
He began to call down curses on himself, and he swore to them.
I don't know this man you're talking about.
Immediately, the rooster crowed the second time. Then Peter remembered the words Jesus had spoken to him. Before the rooster crows twice, you will disown me 3 times. And he broke down and wept. Very early in the morning, the chief priests with the elders, the teachers of the law, and the whole Sanhedrin reached a decision. They bound Jesus, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate.
Are you the king of the Jews?
Yes, it is as you said.
The chief priests accused him of many things. So Pilate asked him,
Aren't you going to answer? See how many things they're accusing you of.
but Jesus still made no reply, and Pilate was amazed. Now it was the custom at the feast to release a prisoner whom the people requested. A man called Barabbas was in prison with the insurrectionists who had committed murder in the uprising. The crowd came up and asked Pilate to do for them what he usually did.
Do you want me to release to you the king of the Jews?
Pilate knew it was out of envy that the chief priests had handed Jesus over to him. But the chief priests had stirred up the crowd to have Pilate release Barabbas instead.
What shall I do then? with the one you call King of the Jews?
Crucify him.
Why? What crime has he committed? Crucify him.
Wanting to satisfy the crowd, Pilate released Barabbas to them. He had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 silver coins to the chief priests and the elders.
I have sinned, for I have betrayed innocent blood. What is that to us? That's your responsibility.
So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. The soldiers led Jesus away into the palace, that is, the praetorium, and he called together the whole company of soldiers. They put a purple robe on him, and twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on him. And they began to call out to him, "Hail, King of Jews!" Again and again they struck him in the head with a staff and spit on him. Falling on their knees, they paid homage to him. And when they had mocked him, they took off the purple robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, the father of Alexander and Rufus, was passing by on his way in from the country, and they forced him to carry the cross. They brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. Then they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it, and they crucified him. Dividing up his clothes, they cast lots to see what each would get. It was noon when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." They crucified 2 robbers with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads.
So, you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, come down from the cross and save yourself. He saved others. Why can't he save himself? Let this Christ, this King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe.
Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. At the 6th hour, darkness came over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out in a loud voice,
Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani.
which means, my God, why have you forsaken me?"
Listen, he's calling Elijah.
One man ran, filled a sponge with wine vinegar, put it on a stick, and offered it to Jesus to drink. Now
Leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to take him down.
With a loud cry, Jesus breathed his last. The curtain of the temple was torn in 2 from top to bottom. The centurion, who stood there in front of Jesus, heard his cry and saw how he died.
Surely this man was the Son of God.
Some women were watching from a distance. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary the mother of James, the younger, and of Joseph, and Salome. In Galilee, these women had followed him and cared for his needs. Many other women who had come up with him to Jerusalem were also there. It was preparation day, that is, the day before the Sabbath. So as evening approached, Joseph of Arimathea, a prominent member of the council, who was himself waiting for the kingdom of God, went boldly to Pilate and asked for Jesus' body. Pilate was surprised to hear that he was already dead. Summoning the centurion, he asked him if Jesus had already died. When he learned from the centurion that it was so, he gave the body to Joseph. So Joseph bought some linen cloth, took down the body, wrapped it in the linen, and placed it in a tomb cut out of rock. Then he rolled a stone against the entrance of the tomb. Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Joseph, saw where he was laid.
In just a moment, the bells will play. I ask you to remain silently sitting while we listen to that piece, and then leave the church in silence to regather on Easter morning. Today, I ask you to leave the church, and if you are able, to continue down the hall to join our annual meeting.